What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Hope everybody's doing well this Thursday, late afternoon, early evening. Zoomer Sports was good. Good to see you. Hope all's well. Dana Tabb, thanks for joining. Hope you're doing well today. As y'all can see, I got my nice tan on now. Donovan Lane, what's good, brother? Always good to see you, man. Thanks for making the time halfway around the world. C.Y. Markham, thanks for jumping on. I would show y'all tan lines, but I'd have to show you my physique, and it's probably not appropriate for this platform, so I'll spare you. But got rejuvenated, got my batteries recharged, got out of town a little bit, got some sun, got a break from this weather pattern that we're having, and feel much better. So Artez, 1982, what's good? Max Jr., 71, what's happening? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm not going to talk NBA unless you guys want to today. I'm going to talk really more Big Ten. We're going to kind of niche down, not talk. We'll talk a little bit of college basketball, but I want to talk specific. We're going to talk college basketball, but I want to specifically talk about the Big Ten and how it pertains to the larger college basketball landscape, if that's all right with y'all. Jordan, Jordan, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks, Donovan. I needed it, bro. I needed it bad. We're sitting up here going crazy, man, in this snow and this cold snap that we're having. Look, I'm a dude that likes the sun, man. I went outside, was helping my neighbor because he's got some ice, and it's like 25 outside and it feels okay. And for me, I'm never like that. Ready for the Iowa and Wisconsin game tonight, C.Y. Markham. Can Rutgers beat Michigan tonight? Zoomer Sports. Hold off on that. I wish you guys – I guess I got to do the slides. I got to do the Instagram slides so that you guys can see what YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Periscope can see, because I've got all the stuff put up here, but I'll work on that. First question, Big Ten Player of the Year. It looked as though Luka Garza was going to be a runaway favorite. But the way that Ayo Dosunmu is playing, and now the national media has picked up on his numbers, I'm not so sure that Luka Garza is the runaway choice for Big Ten Player of the Year. Rob Dowster did some research. He went back to 1992-93. There's only been 3 players that are putting up the numbers in a regular season that Ayo Dosunmu is currently putting up right now. There was Kyle Menard from Morehead State and Penny Hardaway. That's it. Now, if you drop the 21 points down to 20, you also add Evan Turner in from Ohio State. But when you put the 40% three-point shooting that Ayo Dosunmu is currently having, there's no one ever in college basketball that's had these numbers that Ayo Dosunmu has had. So if he's got historic numbers and Illinois is ranked higher and they're challenging Michigan for a Big Ten championship, and in the only meeting of the season, Illinois beat Iowa, can Luka Garza still be the runaway Big Ten Player of the Year? I don't think so. I know I was singing. I'm still singing Luka's praises because I love the dude. He's a baller. He's going at it. But upon further review, Ayo Dosunmu's got to be getting some love. I mean, I want to hear what you all think on that because it's kind of getting some momentum now in the national scene that Ayo Dosunmu, not only for Big Ten Player of the Year, he's up for National Player of the Year. I'm going to repeat to you guys. No one in college basketball, if Ayo can continue to average at least 21 points a game, 6 rebounds a game and 5 assists a game, and shoot 40% from the three, there's not been a college player to ever do that. So if he's got historic numbers and Illinois is a potential Final Four team and they can win the Big Ten title or finish second, or they're in the top 3 of the Big Ten, and then they make a run to the Final Four or national championship, I would assume he's got to be the player of the year. Does he not? Am I the only one that thinks that way? Let me check into my people here. I got a few up here. Timothy Eaton, what's good? Paul McKeskey, sunny and 70 in Vegas. Thanks for rubbing it in, Paul. Paul knows about these Midwest winters, though. He's a long-time Milwaukee Bucks great. He knows what we're going through right now. That's why he's out in Vegas. Good afternoon, Facebook user. I don't know who that is. I don't think that's my dad because he would say something different. Lisa58, basketball joined. Thank you very much. M. Connor 333. What's happening? Harlem Mixtape. Bry 509. E Wells 678. What's up, brother? Good to see you again. Iowa's tough. He can do it all, and he plays D. I'm taking Io over Luka, says Taurus Hayes. Taurus Hayes. I don't know if I've seen you on here, Taurus. If I have, I apologize. If this is your first time, welcome to Bardo's Breakdown. We love to have new members. 2 rules. Be yourself and come strong to the hole. That's all you got to do. Don't bring weak shit to the paint because it'll get thrown. Okay? You know what I mean? If you bring a weak opinion, the tribe's going to knock that crap to the 5th row because that's just what we do. Right? Got very opinionated, very intelligent basketball people in this group. Now we're going large today. We're going wide because I do, wide college basketball talk. But if you want to join Bardo's Breakdown Tribe intergroup, I'll let you know about that a little bit later. Let's see. Paul McKeskey. Luka is 22 years old and not long or athletic. I love him. Would you pick him to 5? I think Paul's talking about, top 5. No. Paul, I think you understand this. Luke, see, I've been preaching this. Whenever I call a game and Luka's name comes up, we've got to enjoy this young man where he is right now. Can he play in the NBA? I think there's a space somewhere for Luka Garza in the NBA. He works his ass off. I think he's the smartest player in college basketball. I really do. Because Paul McKeskey, NBA legend, coach, he's coaching right now. Paul knows the game as well as anybody. Not long or athletic, but he works his tail off. And that's why people would consider him a high draft pick because he's so efficient. His production is out of this world, even when teams are game planning against him, right? But the NBA is a different game now. It's not really a postman's game. Bigs have to be able to have perimeter skills. Luka has perimeter skills. He can put it on the deck a little bit. He can shoot the 3. I believe, I know the dude works his tail off. He can shoot the NBA 3. But his game doesn't necessarily translate to, he could be a rotation guy, but not a 20, 30 minute a night guy, in my opinion. So no, I would not have him as a top 5 pick. Dory. Hey, Dory Melman, good to see you. Of course, we think it should be Io. He put the work in this summer. Yes, he did, Dory. Yes, he did. Io does more than Luka for his team, says Dave Crosby. That's pretty interesting. That's an interesting point, Dave. And that's kind of what I was hitting on. So Luka scores more points. I believe Luka's at 24. He's averaging a little bit more than 24 a game. He's averaging 8 or so rebounds a game, right? But Io's at just shy of 7 rebounds a game and over 5 assists a game. I believe Io's either 1 or 2 in the Big Ten in assists. He's the best rebounding guard in the league. And he's the second leading scorer behind Luka. So the numbers are favorable. But when you look at the assists, you look at 40% three-point shooting and the fact that I agree that Io plays better defense than Luka. Luka's not a bad defender, but Luka's got to stay out of foul trouble. Because when Luka gets in foul trouble, Io's in trouble, in my opinion, against elite competition. I'm talking top 10 people. top 25 people. If Iowa goes out, Illinois, I think Illinois can withstand Iowa being out with foul trouble or something like that better than Iowa can if Luka has foul trouble. Because we saw this earlier. Indiana has beaten Iowa twice. The game at Carver Hawkeye Arena at Iowa, the Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson, the two bigs in Indiana, got in foul trouble. They were on the bench when Indiana made their run, decisive run. It was Jerome Hunter and Geronimo. What's Geronimo's first name? I just saw him last night. Hunter and Geronimo did a fantastic job guarding Luka Garza, right? And then when you take into consideration at Indiana, Illinois, Georgie Bashanis-Vili and Ayo Dosunmu get fouled out on what looked like somebody had money on the game, because those are two of the worst calls I'd seen all season. That fouled both of them out down the stretch in regulation at Indiana. Game goes to overtime. Illinois still finds a way to win. So this is interesting. Dave, you bring up a great point. Thank you. Appreciate you being on. Jimmy Red was good. Io should have it in the bag if he keeps up this pace. I would agree, Jimmy. Again, historic numbers. Go Badgers 1, 2, 3, 4. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. BMW Mueller, thank you for jumping on. What's up, Meredith Evans? Meredith is a tribe member. She comes strong. Got great ideas, gives me great suggestions. She'll send me messages on things that for me to consider, what she likes, what she thinks I can do better. I love tribe members like Meredith because all I want to do is get better. I don't have an ego. I don't. I'm confident. I'm not arrogant, but I don't have an ego. I want to get better and I want to serve my tribe. I want to give them what they want because they give me their time, their energy, and their expertise. That's how this works. Thank you, Meredith. Another one. Nikki Lang Perkins gave me a great idea to do a brunch, Bardo's Breakdown brunch, before everybody got drunk on New Year's Eve. It was a big hit. So if you guys want to be a part of the tribe, this is what I'm talking about. It's not a one-sided deal. I'm part of the community. Again, I'm the point guard. I set the table. The tribe eats. So if you guys want to join, text me to 312-847-2739, or you can go to Facebook and look up Bardo's Breakdown Group. There's 3 simple questions, and you automatically are in. That's it. I don't spam you. I want you guys to join me on the journey because I'm new to this. I make mistakes. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but I give my best effort. And I try to serve you guys because you guys have given me a bunch of love. I love my tribe. That's my family. So thank you, Meredith. Thank you, Nikki Lang Perkins. Coach Chuck 10 was good. Thank you for jumping on. What are we talking about today? We're talking about Big Ten. We're going Big Ten deep today, Nikki. All right. What's your favorite arena in the Big Ten Conference, says Zoomer Sports? Woo! Hold that thought. Let's finish up this Iowa-Luka discussion. We'll jump in to some other stuff. I think Iowa's losing lately has hurt his case. And on the flip side, Iowa closing out games in the clutch makes his case stronger. Head-to-head, Garza, I still think has the edge. But if the trend continues, give me Iowa. Man, I wish I knew who that was. Facebook user who put that up, I can't pin that on this. I wish I could. Great. That's a great point. And thank you for joining. Whoever you are, excellent point here. Anastasia Walker, tribe member. What are you talking about, Anastasia? No crying in college basketball. Who's crying now? Who are you talking about? Anastasia, tribe member. Come, hey, I told y'all, if you come on this platform, come strong, because tribe will eat you up like some barracudas. D Baguettes 28. What's up, D Baguettes? Good to see you. Artez 1982. That's my man right there. How many Big Ten teams make the tournament? Right now, there are 9, but more likely 10. Because the thing about the Big Ten Conference and the teams Maryland, Indiana, Minnesota, they have nightly opportunities for quad one victories based on the strength of the conference. So that's why I think the Big Ten will eventually get 10. Right now, based on we use Big Ten Network and Fox Sports use Mike DeCourcy. We don't use Joe Lunardi. We keep an eye on what Joe's doing because Joe's a beast. Joe is a beast. There's another guy that I look at as well. God, his name escapes me right now. It'll come back to me. But so I think there'll be at the end of the day, Artez, I think there'll be 10 Big Ten teams. Just like I said, because Maryland, even Penn State, Indiana, and Minnesota. Well, Minnesota's in because Minnesota's got some of the best wins in the country. Now they're all at their home place because they're over on the road. No pun intended, Gophers. They haven't won a Big Ten road game yet, and yours truly gets to call the next Illinois game, which is at Minnesota on Saturday afternoon. Me and Brandon Gaudin, my main man, Brandon Gaudin, Kevin Kugler, and Lisa Byington. I've got great play-by-play partners. They become friends of mine. I'm stoked because Minnesota is one of the toughest places to play in the Big Ten this year. They've beaten everybody up there. They beat Iowa in overtime. They beat Michigan. They beat Ohio State. They've got some of the best wins in the country. Minnesota's in. But Penn State, Indiana, Maryland, they get nightly chances to get in. That's why I think the Big Ten will get 10 teams in. Anastasia, what are you talking about? Last time I was on here, we debated who is the GOAT. MJ. Nah, we're not doing that right now, Taurus. So thank you, though. Thank you for the reminder. I appreciate that. What's up, Steve Prophet? What people are not saying is defensively, Iowa puts Luka away. If this is Steve Prophet, I think it is. I think Steve used to work with Mark Bartelstein and train pro players, if I'm not mistaken. Steve, let me know if this is you, because Steve would know. He would know. I'm telling y'all, that's why y'all want to be a part of this platform. I don't have people with just non-intelligent opinions. We got Paul McKeskey's a former NBA great. Michael Payne comes on here. We've had BJ Armstrong will poke his head in here every now and then. I'm telling y'all, jump in here. My man, my Mella, get on the mic because you know you eat Jello. Jay Hood, Jonathan Hood in the house. What's up, Jay Hood? Good to see you, baby. Okay, Coach Chuck 10. How can I do this? DM me, Coach. And I'll check out whatever you're talking about. I'd love to hear what you have to share. Thank you for sending that. But DM me and DM me your cell number, and then I'll hit you up. Jeff SY 311, excuse me. Thanks for joining. Which two Big Ten teams have the best shot to go to the Final Four? Man, that's one of my questions. Hold on. You dudes, y'all are so good. Y'all are so fast and quick. I need a producer. My brother told me I need a producer for this show because y'all are so fast and quick. It's hard for me to keep up. Io's clutch plays at the end of the game puts him in the conversation of player of the year with his numbers and Illinois' top 5 ranking. Steve Schaefer. Thank you, Steve. Good points. Who thinks Luka Garza over Io? Because I'd like to hear that argument as well. I'm going with Io over Garza. Donovan Lane. Okay, Donovan. Chris Martin. Boom. Online, I pick up a new recruit, RJ Menendez. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. All right. So it looks like for right now, it looks Io heavy on that first question. So let me go back to. Let me dump out of this and then go back over here. All right. So for right now, I want to keep this moving because I'm going to give you all a few things to think about while we go through. Next question. And that's why I was like, where's my man that just said that? Jeff SY 311. Big Ten team least likely to make the Final Four. Look, I got to give credit where credit's due. I did an interview with WGN earlier today with Jared Payton. And Jared Payton asked me the question, out of Michigan, Ohio State, and Illinois, which of the three teams is least likely to make the Final Four? And I was like, I didn't want to say, but I had to come up with an answer. And reluctantly, I said Ohio State. Now, here's the issue with my answer, because I'm going to pull up Ken Palm for you guys. I'm going to show you how dominant Ohio State is, okay? So Ken Palm is the number one analytics guy that I refer to. Jerry Palm, you're right, Jay Hood. That's the other guy I watch and listen to. I know Jerry personally. He does a really good job. You're exactly right. Ohio State is, I'm going to give you the top 10 in Ken Palm's college basketball ratings. Gonzaga 1, Baylor 2, Michigan 3. He's got Iowa 4, right? Houston 5, Ohio State 6, Illinois 7, Alabama 8, Loyola Chicago 9, and Virginia 10. Okay? So these are tempo free analytics. It's hard for me to explain exactly the process that Ken Pomeroy uses, but to me, he's the guru of the analytics game. So let me pull up Ohio State's analytics, their team analytics. Oh, I got to log in first. My bad. All right. Ohio State has the number 4 ranked offense. Their defense is 57 in the country. So that, that's almost top 50. That's a good defensive team. Not elite, but good. But they're the 4th most offensively efficient team in the country. And who can you point to out of E.J. Liddell that you think has a chance to play at the pros on that team? Because to me, one of the criteria for a deep Final Four, for a Final Four run or a national championship, you got to have 2 or 3 pros. And I mean, they got to be dogs. They got to be able to go get a bucket at any point. So I reluctantly said Ohio State because to me, I'm not sure that E.J. Liddell, as talented as that dude is, he is talented. I'm not sure that against an elite defensive team that E.J. Liddell can go get you something out of formation, can break the formation, see an advantage, and go get it on a consistent basis in the last 5 minutes in an elite Sweet 16, Elite 8, or Final Four game. I could be wrong, but I know Ayo Dosunmu can. I think Franz Wagner can. I know Isaiah Livers can. Right? Michigan has offensive versatility that nobody else in the Big Ten has. Outside of Gonzaga and Baylor, I think Michigan has the most offensive versatility in the nation. And that was the reason I said reluctantly Ohio State. But it's all a part of the draw. I told Jared the most important part is what draw do you get? Who is in your region? So that's why I wanted to share that with you. That's why I wanted to go in depth. Now I want to see what you guys think about this here. Okay. Let me go to the bottom. Okay, Steve Schaefer says Liddell was unconscious versus Illinois. You know why he was, right, Steve? Because the Illini players, the players that put on the University of Illinois Fighting Illini jersey, to me, sometimes they forget that any kid, Carol Poe Paquette knows it. Tribe member. Carol Poe Paquette understands. You're not kidding. Home state boy. That's my point. Anybody that's from the state of Illinois, even though they choose to go to Ohio State or Michigan or Iowa or Indiana or whatever, when they come and play the Fighting Illini, they're coming to kick their ass, period, point blank. And that's exactly what EJ Liddell did. He came and kicked the Illini's ass. Now, good thing is the Illini play Ohio State twice. They get to go to Columbus last day of the regular season. That's going to be must-watch television, right? So, I think the bubble will help this team with those Big Dance jitters. Kevin McDuffie, tribe member. Okay, Kevin, I feel you. Wow, Kevin McDuffie says Ohio State is going to be upset early on. You heard it here first. All right, Kevin, why do you say that? I'm interested in hearing why you say that. That could happen to any of them, but you picked Ohio State. Why? Share that with me. Simeon Fuller says Illinois to win it all. Iowa is a prophet. Okay, Simeon. It's Simeon in the rest of the country. It's Simeon in Chicago. Because Simeon High School, you get 50 to the head, no cover-up if you don't say the name right. Can't be a Chicagoan. I'm an adopted Chicagoan. You can't be a Chicagoan and not say Simeon. It ain't Simeon, it's Simeon. So Simeon Fuller, those are strong. That's a strong statement there, bro. Joe Brown says Michigan can win it all. I totally agree, Joe. I totally agree. To me, in my opinion, Michigan gets the nod over Ohio State and Illinois. Why do I say that? They've got a premier big in Hunter Dickinson. The Big Ten they needed 8 to 10 games to really scout the big fella. So now what's happened is the second go around for Michigan, people they got enough film on Hunter Dickinson and they know how to guard him better. But what happens is when you load up on Hunter Dickinson, Franz Wagner kills you. Eli Brooks kills you. Mike Smith will hurt you. Isaiah Livers, all Big Ten performer. Shondy Brown off the bench was a double-figure scorer at Wake Forest for his career. He is taking on the role of defensive stopper. But don't think for a minute he can't get hot and get going. That's a lot of offensive firepower. They have more offensive firepower and versatility, in my opinion, than Ohio State or Illinois. Okay? So Joe Brown, I'm in agreement with you. Michigan can win it all. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I'd be very happy, as a matter of fact, if they did. I'm a basketball fan, right? But y'all know why I'd be happy if Michigan won. Because one, they're Big Ten, but two, Juwan Howard. That's my brother. Like literally, that's my frat brother. Whenever you play in the Big Ten, you're a frat brother. We're in a fraternity. All the guys that played in Big Ten basketball, I don't care how far back it was, or if you're still playing, once you get anointed, because you got to be anointed to play in the Big Ten. It ain't something that you could just say, I'm in high school and I'm a decent player. I'm going to play in the Big Ten. No, it don't work like that. Right? So if Michigan wins, if Ohio State wins, I love Chris Holtman. He's one of my favorite coaches. I love how he game plans. He's a defensive guy, but he understands his roster is an offensive juggernaut. So he adjusts his system for his personnel. So if Ohio State cut down the nets, I'd be happy as hell. Now, full disclosure, if Illinois cut down the nets, I'd be jubilant. I'd be ecstatic. So there you have it. I'm going with the line Illinois least likely because I question their outside shooting. If Kofi doesn't get involved offensively, they won't go far. All right. Now, Donovan, I'm going to give you some information. All right. Illinois is an excellent three-point shooting team. They're the top three-point shooting team of the Big Ten. But just to make sure, I'm going to give you more of a national picture for the Illini so that you can see how outstanding these teams are. Why is this page not working for me? You know what? I think I got too many. I must have too much stuff on my computer because every time I run this, it takes a lot of memory and I can't get to hardly anything else. And I'm having a hard time pulling up what I bear with me. But Donovan, oh, okay, here we go. Illinois is, I know they're the top 3-point shooting team in the Big Ten. And Illinois is the 14th best 3-point shooting team in the country. So I know it doesn't look like it from your vantage point, but Illinois can shoot the rock from deep. They're a very good shooting team. So I do agree with you. If Kofi doesn't get involved offensively, they won't go far. I do agree with you on that. But the Illini can shoot the three. They can definitely shoot the three. Okay, Anastasia Walker, why do you say Ohio State? Joe Brown says Illinois. Okay, he thinks Illinois is the least likely. Why? Lynn Holly, tribe member. Thank you, Lynn, for always joining in the sport. Ohio State is least likely. Why? Because I want you guys, come tournament time, come Big Ten Conference tournament time, come NCAA tournament time, I want you guys to have some of the information that I have. Tribe members going to get my March Madness picks anyway for free. I'm charging everybody else. I used to give that stuff away for free. I got a little bit smarter now. I ain't giving that away for free. No, sir. KG pops up in here too. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's my brother from another mother, Kendall Gill. That's my man, Hunter Grand. Love him to death. Carol says you're going to break the spell at Minnesota. All right. So let me get out of the you guys' responses, and then let me pull up the third question. I haven't forgotten you, IG. I know you're over here. Wayne Blair 9. Thanks for jumping on. Can't wait for that game in the barn. It's gonna be a heck of a game. Ewell 678 says, I like the Illini coach. Seems to be a bit old school. Love how he gets at his players, doesn't hold back. Ewell 678. And that's why he can't have, he's got to have certain players. That's why his roster is the way that he likes it. Because some guys can't handle that stuff, right? DV Harp 3 was good. B Wood 33. Is that Brandon Wood? If it is, let me know. Hope you're doing well. Kendall Gill, Roger Powell. The list goes on and on. Thank you, Zoomer. Kenny Williams was good. How realistic is it to see Ayo at Big Ten Player of the Year and Luka at National Player of the Year? I think it's because Jordan, I'm going to say something and I'm going to get criticized for this, and I don't care because it's the truth. The people that vote on these awards, it's very difficult to see all the top players 3 or 4 times. I like to watch guys about 5 to 6 times if they're in contention for a National Player of the Year award or a Conference Player of the Year award. I like to see guys about 5 or 6 times. And Jordan, you're going to know this. Jordan Ash finished up, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago with Northwestern, a Northwestern guard. He's getting into the broadcast field. He's going to be excellent at it. And he's a better dude than even he was as a hooper, and he was a pretty good hooper. So Jordan, there's certain people that call themselves purists that don't watch the game enough. They have favorite media outlets, writers, people on Twitter or online, and they kind of lean on those sources as opposed to watching enough basketball to make an informed decision. And so I don't know how real, I think I wouldn't be surprised if that scenario were to play out, that Ayo gets Big Ten Player of the Year, but Luka Garza gets National Player of the Year, right? I could see that happening. It would be very unique, but this is the season that, the most unique things have happened. The Blue Bloods aren't in contention. Not one, but 3 of them. Duke, North Carolina, and Kentucky. So if there was a season for that to happen, Jordan, I think this could be the one. But great question. Hadn't heard that one yet. Brad Underwood needs to get better at subbing, says C.Y. Markham. Right when someone starts to heat up, Brad takes that player out. He then puts the player back in, and they can't hit anything after that. Wow. Okay, C.Y. Markham. Now, I'm going to go back to my man, my Mella, Donovan Lane, and he questioned the Illini's outside shooting. And as a team, they're 14th best in the nation. So I don't know if Underwood taking the guy out and then putting him back in, they wouldn't be the best three-point shooting team in the Big Ten, would they? So I don't know. They go cold, he says. Okay. I don't agree with you, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming strong. Wayne Blair 9. So what are the chances that Michigan versus Illinois game gets rescheduled for the end of the regular season, considering a Big Ten championship may be on the line? I can't divulge all this information because I've got to keep my broadcast partners. I've got to protect them. Okay. But I get key inside conference information. I got to protect the Big Ten conference as well. Let's just say that the likelihood that you'll see an Illinois-Michigan game is a lot higher than I originally thought. I'm not certain. I can't guarantee anything because I don't make those decisions. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's still some things that need to be hashed out. But everybody wants to see that game, and I think that is going to get done. So, Wayne, great question. Thank you for that. All right, let's move on. How many Big Ten teams go dancing? I referenced that earlier. I want to hear what you guys said because some of you have come on late, and I'd like to hear your feedback on that. How many Big Ten teams get to the NCAA tournament? Let me say it one more time for my IG people. The next question, how many Big Ten teams go dancing, in your opinion? Yande Fashion, thanks for jumping on. Good to see you. Jeff SY 311, Purdue is underrated. Not in the Big Ten Conference. They're not underrated in the Big Ten Conference. They might be nationally. I agree, but shoot. Nobody wants to see the Purdue Boilermakers on a regular basis. Those dudes are tough, and Matt Painter can coach his ass off. Period. That dude can coach. And Michael Shrewsbury on the bench, Steve Lutz on the bench. They got some Brandon Brantley. Painter is so low key, and his staff is so low key. They got one of the best coaching staffs in the country. Steve Lutz is I don't know why he's not a coach, head coach. I don't know why he hadn't gotten an opportunity. I've known Steve since he was assistant at Creighton. That dude can coach. Brandon Brantley is biding his time. He's going to be an excellent coach. Who do you think trains all the big men that come to Purdue? Why the Big Man University? That's Brandon Brantley, right? Michael Shrewsbury was with the Boston Celtics and Brad Stevens. Purdue's coaching staff is so underrated. Those dudes can play. They coach their tails off. I think, I don't know. I can't say there's a top player development coaching staff because Rutgers coaching staff, Steve Peichel, come on, Steven, Brandon Knight, and my man, he used to be the head coach at George Washington. Oh, Carl Hobbs. He took George Washington to the NCAA tournament. They are a great player development program. Purdue is a great player development program. Same with Ohio State. Same with Wisconsin, right? Same with Illinois. So, yeah, nobody sleep on Purdue in the Big Ten. Trust me. Tina Strong was good, Tina. ILL. Good to see you. Thanks for always jumping on. Hope you're staying warm and safe up in Michigan. I don't know if y'all got 3 feet of snow on the ground like we do here in Chicago. Well, 30 inches, close enough, right? But I hope you're doing well. Purdue is perfectly rated, but they can play like champs against good teams, but against bad teams, it's atrocious. Man, I think C.Y. Markham is trying to set himself up as a talk show host because he comes with some strong opinions. I appreciate you, young fella. You come with some strong. You come strong, boy, and I love it because I say it comes strong or don't come at all. You come strong. I don't necessarily agree with you, but I like your chutzpah, young fella. EJ went to Ohio State because Iowa was at Illinois. Max Jr. at 71. They don't play the same position, Max. I don't think one had anything to do with the other. EJ Liddell was the Mr. Basketball 2 years in a row. EJ Liddell's from Belleville, Southern Illinois, down in my neck of the woods. I don't think he and Io had anything to do with each other. Now, Taylor Horton Tucker and Io DeSumo, that's a different story. That's well documented. I don't think there's anything between EJ Liddell and Io DeSumo. But good to see you, Max. I hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you. I want the killer instinct from the Illini. When they played Northwestern, it was too casual. Big Ten is rough, but the Illini have to show another gear. Let's go. Jay Hood and everybody else that follows Big Ten basketball, hear this and hear this good. You all nitpick these teams. The Big Ten is the best conference in the country at game planning against opponents night in and night out. Not saying the Big 12 isn't great at it, because they are. The ACC is great at it. The SEC is great at it. The Pac-12 is very good at it. I wouldn't say great, right? But the Big 12 is the best at game planning against opponents night in, night out. You guys are seeing things because you're seeing so much Big Ten basketball. But when they get in the NCAA tournament, they're not going to – here's the thing. Northwestern and Illinois, Jay Hood, 30-something years ago, we go to Evanston. Kenny Battle does a 360 dunk with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Lou Henson almost had a heart attack because we were only up 3 points. Every year, Northwestern plays Illinois tough. Illinois does not lack a killer mentality, ladies and gentlemen. These teams that they're playing, these guys are on scholarship as well. I don't think you guys are giving enough credit and respect to the opponents that the Illini have played. The Big Ten is rugged. You watch what I'm telling you. Watch the 6th, 7th, and 8th place Big Ten teams. Watch what they do in the NCAA tournament. Don't be surprised to see them advance to the second weekend. I'm not saying they'll get to the Elite Eight or the Final Four. Don't be surprised to see a team that's 6th, 7th, and 8th in the Big Ten get to the Sweet 16. Mark my words. Stephen Bardo on Bardo's Breakdown. What's the day? February 18th. I said it here first. Watch what I'm talking about. Stop nitpicking these Big Ten teams. Don't do that. Because what you see in a Big Ten conference, when it grinds down and teams are able to come back, they know everything about each other. Hell, the Big Ten Network puts out a show called The Journey. There's no other conference that does that. They know everything about each other. That's why the league is so difficult. So stop nitpicking, Jay Hood. Stop nitpicking, Big Ten fans. Don't nitpick your teams. All of these teams are quality teams. I'm telling you, when they get to the tournament, you're going to see what I'm talking about. All right? But thank you, Jay Hood, because Jay knows how to – me and Jay go back decades. And for you all that don't know, Jonathan Hood is one of the best talk show radio hosts in the country. He's been in Chicago, if not all his career, most of his career. And he does a fantastic job. So he he knows how to get me going. Iowa and Illinois have closers and player of the year level players. Michigan has 5 players who can all score. Illinois, Michigan, plus Iowa have the great equalizer in college basketball, a big that can be dominant. Now, Jordan Ash is saying something now. Let me repeat this, because this is a very good point. I didn't consider this. Illinois and Iowa have closers and player of the year level players. Michigan has 5 players who can all score. Illinois, Michigan, plus Iowa have the great equalizer in college basketball, a big that can be dominant. Iowa, Luka Garza, we've been talking about him as defensive player or Big Ten player of the year and national player of the year. Kofi Cockburn, who is not getting enough credit because he's leading the country in double-doubles. I believe he's leading the Big Ten in rebounding, and he may be 5th or 6th in scoring. Any other year, he's in the conversation of Big Ten player of the year. Now, if Iowa's not there and it's Luka and Kofi, obviously, Kofi's numbers don't approach Luka's. But Kofi Cockburn's elite. Luka Garza is elite. Hunter Dickinson is elite. So Jordan Ash, Jordan, you don't mind me using that on the air, do you? That's a great talking point. And if you don't mind, I may use that in one of the graphics that we developed for our Minnesota-Illinois game. Because that's a great, great point. Jordan Ash says Ohio State has no closer. See, Dwayne Washington Jr. can go get his own shot. He can. He's streaky, but he can go get his own shot. Justice Suing, a little bit. And he's getting better and better for Ohio State. But on their roster, in terms of guys that can break formation and go get a bucket late in the game, outside of E.J. Liddell, Dwayne Washington Jr. Now, Dwayne Washington Jr. is clutch now. He's got a clutch gene. He'll take a big shot, and he's confident. But I wouldn't say Ohio State doesn't have any closers. They don't have elite closers like the 3 that you mentioned. Zoomer Sports, Bardo, do you know if March Madness is having fans? I would like to watch my Fighting Illini go on a run in person. No. I don't think that's going to happen. The vaccine rollout has not been swift enough, in my opinion. Just my opinion. If the vaccine rollout had been a little bit more efficient and they could point to, I think the goal in the Biden administration early on was 3 million vaccinations a day. They've fallen woefully short of that for various reasons. We've had tremendous weather issues. We've had a lot of different things going on. We've had the perfect storm all year, right? So if the vaccination rollout had been better, in my opinion, Zoomer, I think that they would move to maybe let 10%, 15% capacity at most. So I wouldn't get your hopes up that they'll allow any fans in the NCAA tournament. That's the error on the safe side. Okay. And if they did allow people in, the big money people, now first the programs, the teams administration, the big money donors, the corporate folks, family and family members of the players, they'll get first dibs on any entrance into an NCAA game even if they allow people in. So I don't want to bust your bubble, Zoomer, but I'd play it on the safe side, and we can just have some Illini watch games during the tournament. How about that? We all can watch the Illini together, and if Kendall's not doing Bulls pre and post, and he's free, and I can give him enough time ahead of time, maybe me and Kendall and Bartle's Breakdown Tribe. We're not going to do it big because we gotta reward our group, the Tribe. We'll do Illini game watches throughout the tournament. Okay, and hopefully that can give you because the thing of it is, the reason you want to watch games live, you definitely want to be at the spot when you see a play happen. But the reason you want to be live is because you want to be with the fans going crazy, right? The best way to do that virtually is a game watch. So let's work on that. And I want everybody that's watching this to try not to get your hopes up that you might be able to get to an NCAA, one of the venues in the state of Indiana during the tournament. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. All right. Ray J240Z, thanks again for jumping on. Good to see you. With the tournament being played in Indianapolis, does that favor the Big Ten in any way? No. Artez, 1982, without the fans being there? No, I don't think so. El Ray, 1947, thanks for jumping on. Meredith loves her. Xavier loves this. Nate Johnson from Xavier has the 3-point record for this season. RJ240s, who do you think will be the defensive player of the year in the Big Ten? Shawnee Brown, or it could have been Gabe Kalsher, but unfortunately Gabe Kalsher broke his finger yesterday on his shooting hand. He'll be out indefinitely. Gabe Kalsher is a starting off guard for Minnesota. And there's never a good time to break your finger, but if it happens early in the year, you give yourself time to heal. But right now, coming down the stretch, getting into the Big Ten Conference tournament, getting into the NCAA tournament, tough time for having his finger broken. But he would get consideration. Let me think. Wisconsin, Minnesota. I mentioned, so the top 5 defenders in the Big Ten, in my opinion. Oh, Liam Robbins, Minnesota, leading shot blocker in the Big Ten. He's got to get consideration. Gabe Kalsher would have gotten strong consideration, in my opinion, if he didn't just break his finger yesterday. Dang, I just said I said somebody. Oh, Shawnee Brown Jr. from Michigan. I'm going through the rosters. Purdue, no, Indiana. Rob Finney does a good job on ball, but no. Ohio State is an excellent defensive team. Physical as hell. They might be the most physical team in the league, but they don't have one guy that I would point out as that could win the Defensive Player of the Year. Wow, RJ240Z. Who do you think? Who do you think? Rutgers, Penn State. Jamari Wheeler has got to get consideration from Penn State. Jamari Wheeler will get consideration. So Liam Robbins, Minnesota. Shawnee Brown Jr., Michigan. Jamari Wheeler, Penn State. Those would kind of be my favorites right now. Very good question. TB386 thinks 6 teams will get into the Big Ten tournament. Obviously, you haven't been watching a lot of Big Ten basketball. RJ240s says 8 teams. Meredith Evans says 6. Zoomer Sports has Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Minnesota, and Rutgers. Where's Michigan? Where's Indiana? Where's Maryland? Jordan Ash. Okay. Former Big Ten player from Northwestern, Jordan Ash. You learn teams like the back of your hand. Difference between killer instinct and just pure familiarity. See, I'm gonna bring Jordan on here when I do Bardo's breakdown. When we go college basketball heavy and even NBA because he knows the game. Jordan brings a fresh perspective as he's much closer to Big Ten basketball in this generation than I am. I know the game. I watched it. I'm Mr. Big Ten, whatever. But Jordan gives a much fresher perspective as a player that's recently played in the Big Ten Conference. So, Jordan, I'm going to get you on here. Love what your comments here and what you're doing. Cap and Jay Hood on ESPN 1000's weekdays, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Zoomer Sports. Thanks for putting that up. Sam Meeks was good. That's all right, Meredith Evans. You all good with me. Let me see what my tribe says on the number here. Okay, people. Oh, well, Miles Johnson, Rutgers. Thank you, Brian Petrone. Great call. I forgot about Miles Johnson. You know what? I'd put Miles Johnson ahead of Liam Robbins. Actually, that's a great call. Thank you for that. Great call. Kevin McFall. ILL, brother. INI. What's happening? Kevin McFall. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Simeon. Michigan is now going to face the upper level of the Big Ten. How do you think they will do? Well, they passed the first test and they were gassed. They had a 2.5-week break or 3-week break from playing. They're playing the best basketball of the season. They go on a break. They come back. They're not in elite shape like they were before the break starts. The last 10 minutes of the game, they played some of the best defense I've seen the Big Ten and in the country this year. They cut Wisconsin's lights out. They cut the water off. Like what's happening in Texas, no pun intended. But that's what Wisconsin had happened to them last weekend when Michigan came in there, came from 12 down at halftime on the road and beat Wisconsin. So Michigan's going to be just fine, ladies and gentlemen. Now, they'll probably lose a game or two moving through the stretch because I think the Big Ten winner, I didn't know Michigan was going to be this good. I thought the Big Ten winner would have 5 or 6 losses. Michigan has got 1 loss so far at Minnesota. They've got Ohio State Sunday. It's going to be a great matchup. I've got a Sunday evening game. I may do a pregame. I think I'm going to do a pregame sauce on that game. If it's I think that's the noon game. Let me look that up real quick, and I'll come on and do a pregame sauce if the timing works out. Let's see. Michigan's schedule. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they had Ohio State Sunday. I think I misspoke here. They've got Indiana on Sunday. No. No, I said it right. They've got Ohio State on Sunday at noon. So I'll do I'm hustling back from Minneapolis. I couldn't get out Saturday evening because a lot of airlines have cut down their flights. So I've got to fly back early Sunday morning. But I think I can get back in time to do a pregame sauce for Ohio State, Michigan. So we'll go over that. But Simeon, I think that Michigan they'll still be right there. They'll probably lose a game or two. I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State will win that game. Won't be surprised. But I still think that they'll still be right there for a Big Ten championship. Kevin McDuffie says, I'm not sure Maryland gets in the dance. They beat Illinois and Wisconsin. I'm telling you, Kevin McDuffie, the way the metrics are shaping out, a Big Ten team with 8 wins will probably get in the NCAA tournament this year. I know that sounds crazy. If a Big Ten team goes 8-12 and they don't have disastrous non-conference losses, they will get into the dance this year. That's just how the metrics are shaping out. That's how dominant the Big Ten Conference is this year in terms of conference net rankings. So you get quad 1 opportunities every night. If you got 8 Big Ten wins, you will more than likely get 9 is a lock. If you get 9 Big Ten wins, you're in the tournament. And so let's see what Maryland has done, Kevin, because I think, and don't knock the 2 wins over Nebraska, because I'm telling you, the Big Ten is so rugged this year. Let's see. Maryland's 7-9 in the Big Ten. They get They get one more win, two more wins. They're a lock. And let's see what Maryland has left on their schedule. I love to do this because you guys help me with my research as well. Because it's hard. I can't keep all this stuff in my head. So Maryland has Rutgers on Sunday. That's going to be a tough game. I would favor Rutgers at home in that one. But Maryland, the following Sunday, gets Michigan State to come to their place. Michigan State is struggling. Maryland can very well win that game. Maryland on March 3rd goes to Northwestern. Northwestern is crazy competitive, but they can't close out games. They've really struggled closing out games. So Maryland could very easily win that one. And they finish the regular season at home against Penn State, a team that they lost to at Penn State by 5, but I believe they can beat Penn State at home. So even with Maryland losing at Rutgers, and they can win 2 of the last 3 against Michigan State, at Northwestern, and Penn State, which is very doable, Maryland's in the tournament. And then, oh, by the way, we're not talking about Big Ten Conference Tournament yet. If they get 1 or 2 wins in the Big Ten Conference Tournament, they're in. Even if they don't do what I think they could do for the remainder of the regular season. So you got to remember, don't think traditionally, ladies and gentlemen, about teams getting into the tournament this year, especially from the Big Ten. Don't think that they have to have a 500 conference record. That's a misnomer, especially this year. That's not required. Okay? So keep thinking about that. No, Meredith Evans. This is my second father, Dr. Seymour Bryson. Here, let me put it up to IG. That was him as a player. Where is he? And that's Mr. Harvey Welch, who was also like an uncle to me. These 2 giants in the Southern Illinois community passed away recently, but that's my second father, Dr. Seymour Bryson. Legend. Both of these men were legends and Southern Illinois University greats. Show you guys Dr. Seymour Bryson, Southern Illinois University great. Mr. Harvey Welch, Southern Illinois University great. And this was a commemorative cup in honoring these 2 gentlemen because they passed away very close together. So that's what this is. Thank you for asking, Meredith. Kevin McDuffie says, so 14-13 Maryland team gets into the dance without a win in the Big Ten tournament. If they got 9 or 10 Big Ten conference wins, yes, they do, Kevin. That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't necessarily vibe with history. That's why I want to get to you guys and let you understand this is a different year. The Big Ten is loaded. No other conference. Well, Big 12 they've got tremendous quality, but Kansas State is not good at all. They might be worse than Nebraska. Iowa State has struggled because I think they've had tremendous injury issues, but they're not good. They're not good. Northwestern and Nebraska could beat Northwestern, Penn State, and Nebraska could beat the bottom of any team of any other conference all day long. So the Big Ten gets quality opportunities almost every single night. So that's what I want you guys start thinking about that. Get non-traditional this year, especially when you talk about the Big Ten. All right. Let me see. I think I got to that. Oh, let me get out of Kevin's comment. Let me get down here. Mark Ferry. Hey, Bardo, how do you think Curbelo can improve his game? Just time. He's young. He makes mistakes. But you guys see the talent. Andre Curbelo is going to be fantastic. You guys, he's a wizard with the basketball. Fun to watch. Personality. You know, he does his thing. Him and DeMonte Williams, when they hook up, they do this together. You know, they're fun. They like each other. He's a great player to watch. Obviously, his outside shooting mark will have to improve. But think about this. Was Ayo Dosunmu a very good three-point shooter when he came into Illinois his freshman year? He wasn't. But he got stronger. He worked on it. He worked on his mechanics. You watch his footwork. He gets his legs up under his waist. He's not leaning forward. Like I remember Ayo coming in as a freshman when he used to shoot. He had a little bit of a forward lean. Now he's straight up and down because he's stronger in his shoulders. He's stronger in his core and his legs. So now he can pop straight up, and he's got a better release. Andre Curbelo will do the same thing. I don't know if he'll ever shoot 40% from three like Ayo's doing, but he's going to be fine. He's a tremendous player. We got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Big Ten doesn't get one and done guys very often. Michigan's getting ready to start getting them. I think Michigan has the best recruiting class in the country coming in next year. They had a one and done kid coming, but he chose to go to the G League. So a lot of these, when they come to college, they've got a few things to work on. They don't need to be finished products. But Mark, great question. Thank you. Yeah, Kevin. See, you guys see it. You guys see the talent that Andre Curbelo has. All right, let me see. I think I got through all my questions? Or all my which program will not? Oh, here's the last one. This has been a big topic here the last week and a half or so. So I don't know how viable this is, but there's been talk that Gonzaga and BYU in the West Coast Conference will opt out of their conference tournaments. Okay? Because of COVID. And because I think, let me look and see if my computer's acting better now. I can go look up BYU because I haven't done a lot. Man, my computer is tripping. You know what? I'm not going to do that because I think BYU, their metrics are really good. So I think that what's going to happen is they may opt out to get another West Coast Conference team into the tournament, right? So, man, I'm getting stuck over here. What is going on? Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, y'all. So I think what we're going to see is some teams are going to opt out of their conference tournaments if they're a lock for the NCAA tournament, because their reason is they don't want to risk their best player or a main player catching COVID and having to sit out and missing the first and second round of the tournament. So legitimate concerns. And of a conference like the West Coast Conference, which only gets one or two every year, if they've got two that are locked and they get a third, that's a big financial windfall for their conference. So it's a fascinating thing. So I just want to throw that out real quick. I'm a lead you there. Congratulations on your fourth house purchase, brother. That's big time. Kudos to you and your family, man. That's financial wealth and building right there. Kudos to you. We don't really communicate a lot, but we follow each other on Instagram. He put up a post with him and his daughter. He had just bought his fourth house. So congratulations, partner. Appreciate you. Thanks for jumping on. PF Lum Brian, thanks for joining. Let me see what my tribe over here thinks about that question I just threw out there. Let's see. Okay. Is there an NC? Oh, I don't know, Jordan. Good question. Is there an NIT tournament this year? Very good question. I'm not sure yet. I've heard very little about that, but that's a very good question. They do away with all the conference tourneys. Then do away with all the conference tourneys. Sounds like elitism to me, and the excuse of allowing other teams to get in is BS. All right, Donovan, but let me give you something to consider. Okay. I used this example before. The NBA players kind of had a little pushback against the NBA for having an all-star game based on health concerns. Okay, legitimate. But the owners come to the players and say, well, look, you want your full salary, right? In order to get your full salary, we're not getting ticket revenue this year. So television revenue is paramount. And we've got to hit all of these marks to get the television revenue to pay you your full salary. Now, Big Ten Conference Tournament for one of my business partners, Big Ten Network, it's the biggest thing. It's the culmination of the Big Ten Conference. It's a celebration for the Big Ten Conference, and you culminate a champion, not a regular season, but a Big Ten Conference championship. It's very important, and it's huge ratings, especially this year, because nobody can attend the games. So it's big ratings, it's huge money. It's very important for the financial stability of college athletics for these conference tournaments to happen, just like it is for the NBA to start on Christmas and to have an NBA All-Star game, whether the players like it or not. Because in order to get their salaries paid, they have to do this. So in order for the college programs to survive, they've got to do it. And if you ask the players, they want to play. You ask the coaches, they want to play. You ask the fan base, they want to see it. So it's a good point. Strong point on your part, Donovan. Like you always come strong, but I'm just giving you something to consider. All right. But I appreciate your comment. I appreciate your thought there. You can't have a few teams not participate, get rest, and then show up for the dance. Not fair. Maybe not. But the pandemic doesn't care. And if a player gets sick, they can't change the rules in the last minute and expose everybody. They can't do it. It's a dicey situation, Donovan. That's why I want you guys to open up your mindsets and think about this is a different year under different circumstances. So just give it some thought. But thank you, Donovan, for sharing that, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who feel the same way that you do. So thank you. Big Ten Conference is huge on CBS. Only time Illini will be on CBS before March Madness. Thank you, Dory. Great point. Nate Maurice. What's up, Nate? There will be an NIT this year, but only 16 teams. That's the tribe coming through with that strong knowledge. Thank you, Nate Maurice. Good to see you, brother. No CBI tournament. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. If you guys, Reese 512, thanks for jumping on. If you guys want to be a part of this strong group that is the tribe, text me to 312-847-2739 or go to Bardo's Breakdown group on Facebook, answer 3 simple questions, and you're in. That's it. Got 2 ways to join. Reese 512, thanks for jumping on. Oh my God, we've gone an hour and 13 minutes. This might be our longest ever. All right, guys. Looks like that's it. I don't have any more comments from my people. Jordan Ash, everybody on IG, Meredith Evans, Zoomer Sports. Thank you so much, guys. Tina Strong, Jay Hood, RJ240Z, El Ray 1947, Artez 1982. Zoomer Sports as always, man. Thank you. Max Jr., CY Markham, thank you. Jeff SY311, Ewell 678, Yonde Fashion, thank you all. Wayne Blair, thank you. And if I didn't mention you, please forgive me. My voice is going out. I got to go. Love y'all. Talk to you later. Peace, y'all.